Welcome back to Our Community. Susie Thomas speaking with Candy Durbin and Elaine Oliver about safe sleep with infants, a topic so important to our community that has been facing an issue of high infant mortality. We don't know why, but we do know what can help make it not so. Candy, let me just toss this out to you then. What are these safe sleep practices? Or actually, both of you can speak to this.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead. Well, one thing to remember is ABC: alone, back, and crib. So you want to place the baby alone. No bumper pads, no big heavy blankets, no toys inside the crib. So the baby is sleeping alone in the crib. So there's nothing in there that could cause the baby to suffocate.
Let me just stop you there. What if Grandma gives them the cutest teddy bear? And it goes with the decor so perfectly, and the bumper just fits, and you've got it all looking so cute. That's not okay because a baby can't move.
The baby can scooch, and they do move. I think they do move, and something could happen. The baby could move in the middle of the night when you are getting.
Over.
Yes,
Absolutely.
You know what? I heard this on the video that I watched. Get your great pictures of the pretty little bumper pad and the pretty little stuffed animals, and then take them out when you're putting your baby in there.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You can put the pretty little teddy bear on a shelf somewhere on the dresser, but it's important for that baby to be alone in the crib.
Now, are you saying no blanket? What if there's a family tradition that Grandma knits a very beautiful blanket for each of her grandchildren?
Right.
What do we do?
You can still use those blankets, just
yes.
not at
In bed.
bedtime.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So interesting. So tummy time or something like that. Use it later down the road.
Oh, sure. Sure. You can wrap the baby up in the blanket when they are out and about, or spread it out on the floor when you have tummy time. So, yes.
But we did not know this back then. I mean,
No, we did not.
went with the cute bumper pads because
Yes.
you didn't want them to get their heads caught between the little spokes, right?
Yes. Yes.
Cribs have a different standard now, too. Baby's head is not going to fit.
Okay.
And if you've noticed, you can't sell old cribs anymore with the drop sides or any of those things because they're just making them safer. So the bumpers might be okay. Again, we're talking when the child is bigger.
Right.
After the year, when they have full control and they are rolling around a lot more and you're afraid of them hitting their head. But there's no time for bumpers in the first year.
So, okay, alone, that's the A. The other one I'm curious about is you said back, a BC, back, put the baby on his back.
Yes.
Can't they asphyxiate? What if they spit up?
Actually, it really can't happen. The way our bodies are designed, our esophagus, and I have a little picture here that I am looking at. The way our bodies are designed, our esophagus is, when we're laying on our back, is closest to the crib, and the trachea is above that. So if a baby is laying on their back and they would spit up a little bit, the spit up would have to actually work against gravity for the baby to asphyxiate. That's a tongue twister. But, and that was my concern when I had my child. When I had my kids, I would think, well, what if they spit up? So I'd lay them on their side and roll up the little towel. But now knowing that it's literally almost impossible for that to happen, that really eased a lot of my fears, and I feel confident in sharing this information with our vital participants.
So the way we're built,
yes,
it cannot get into the trachea.
it would have to work against gravity. Actually, laying on the stomach,
On the side
Yes.
of the stomach,
Yes.
it could.
Could
Yes.
get in. Completely opposite
Yes.
of what you would think. That's
Yes.
counterintuitive. All right, how about just a superficial thing? We don't want our babies to end up with flat backs of their heads. So would that happen by laying the baby down on his back? That head is so soft.
Well, babies' heads are very malleable, and you might have a little flat spot for a little while, but that's a temporary thing.
They grow out of it?
Yes.
Okay. So good to know. All right, go ahead to C, crib.
crib, and you want your baby to be sleeping in the crib only. Crib, bassinet, packer play, not in bed with you, not on the couch, no
Not
soft
in a car
surface,
seat.
not in a car seat. So
Oh,
crib.
let's go back to that. All right, because, a crying baby, once they have stopped crying and you've driven them around the block enough times to make them fall asleep, you really have to take them out of the car seat and put them in a crib because they're all just comfy cozy right there and sound asleep.
The scary part about the car seat is, especially when they're infants, they have that little extra part in there that's nice and soft because they don't want the head to, move around much. So that's wonderful for while they're in the car seat. And of course, they fall asleep in the car seat while you're driving them and while you're in the car, but you see them, you're with them. The bad part about taking a baby in and leaving it in the car seat is then you're thinking it's strapped in, it's safe. I know that, that he's asleep and I can go about doing other things. And then you're not watching the baby and you don't see if they, turn their head and get in the soft pillowy part. It's just...
It's a false sense of security.
Yes,
yeah.
absolutely.
It is, yeah. Could we put baby swings in that same category? I had, full confession here, full disclosure, had a little baby who would not go to sleep unless he was in his baby swing. And it was pretty nice to just prop that up in front of a Christmas tree where he was totally entertained and let him swing and nap that way while I got something done. Bad mom?
No. If most swings have a pretty soft but thin padding, it's when you start making it, putting things in there that'll make it, softer blankets to add, so the baby doesn't roll its head.
Little neck braces to keep their
Those
head.
kind of things. Anything that the baby can turn their face and close off their breathing supply. That's no. A swing is okay if you're watching baby.
Yeah.
Everything, you need to use common sense. You need to watch. It's just, I think that car seat, they're so secure in that you're thinking, oh, I can go and do this. I can run downstairs. I can take a nap.
No. Good. Let's get to that. When does a mom take a nap? When do you sleep?
When
You
the
need to
baby
be-
is
When
alone
the baby is
in their crib.
sleeping, you sleep.
Sleep when the baby sleeps.
Yes.
Well, the baby's alone in his crib.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Not with the baby,
No.
but at the same time as the baby.
Got it. All right. The blanket. No blankets in the crib. So, how do you keep them warm enough on the cold winter nights?
You could use, a fleece sleeper. And there are also it's like
Sleep sack.
a sleep sack where you actually place the baby in. It zips up in the front. Their little arms are free, I believe.
Yeah, the arms and feet still get to move around.
They're
but
great.
they're warm.
Yes.
And baby doesn't need to be any warmer than you need to be.
Right.
Everybody thinks, you see in the summertime people with baby all bundled up in a blanket and warm things on, and that baby's just as hot as you would be.
Okay.
If you were, we overdress more than anything. The important thing is to keep the room at a reasonable temperature. Keep it where it's a comfortable temperature, and baby doesn't need
The extras.
the extras.
Okay. So ABC of safe sleep. What else do we need to know? Anything about safe sleep for our infants?
I think that when I was looking at some of the statistics that we have for Stark County, and these are from 2010 to 2014, I think the thing that hit me the most was every child that was lost due to an infant, to a safe sleep condition was. It had nothing to do with an adult being drug impaired, had nothing to do with an adult drinking. It didn't matter if you're obese or underweight. It all had to do with safe sleep environment.
Wow.
That spoke to me a lot. We're all moms wanting to do the best we can for our kids, and we all are tired. But I think just... making sure we have those safeguards in place for our children is the best thing we can do. And having that help, and I know it's not easy for everybody to have somebody to come help them so they can get a nap. And that is sad, but just do the best you can to rest so that you're not so exhausted that you are falling asleep with your baby in your arms.
Let's talk about the help, Elaine. Do you also teach diplomacy? Because I would think some of these topics, the mom might get it. They'll watch the video, they'll hear you, they'll hear your hearts. But going home and explaining it to dad or grandma or babysitter or caretaker, do people have this coursework who run daycare centers, for example? Are they aware of ABCs of safe sleep? Who else is taking care of the baby? Any tips on how to explain to that person who also cares deeply about this child how they're probably doing it wrong?
Well, in our class, when we teach safe sleep, we encourage our vital participants to bring, spouse, mother, grandmother, whoever's going to be helping carry for the baby. And we also send them home with a safe sleep video so that they can show that to their potential caregivers, family members. And it's difficult when you have, mom and grandma telling you, well, this was fine, we did it this way. It's hard for a new young mom to say, no, this is how I want to do it. Sometimes she may feel unsure of herself or whatever, but we have to educate. And I know there are other agencies. This has been a statewide movement. When our leaders several years ago started seeing these statistics, our governors, they knew we had to do something. Yes. So it is a statewide movement. Let's figure out why this is happening. Nurses in the hospitals now, they have to practice in front of new moms and dads. Baby's always on their back. So they see that. They're telling them about it. And I'm sure every, daycare, and I'm assuming that all of these practices are being met statewide. We're working towards that goal.
So good to know that you're doing it at Pregnancy Choices. We've been visiting with Candy Durbin and Elaine Oliver. For people who want more information about the Vital program or to learn more about safe sleep, what's the best way to reach you?
I would have them call Pregnancy Choices. The number is 330-455-7500.
And I think you can probably go to the website, pregnancychoicesforme.org.
We're on Facebook and Twitter.
You're on it all.
All of it.
Thank you so much, Candy Elaine. Thanks for being here on our
Thank
community.
you.
Thank you.